All right, so today we're talking about returning to your core, to our core of who we are. I like this quote by, I'm gonna butcher this, Radhanath Swami. To grow may require that we be shaken right to our core. I'm a little out of it. I was up late last night working on this and a few other things. So I just woke up like right before the call. And let's see here. So how does that tie into divine masculinity? The only way we can truly reclaim our divine masculinity is through shedding the layers of so we can get back to our core selves. And I know we've talked a lot about archetypes and Carl Jung and how they play a role in our lives. So the four major archetypes that Carl Jung talks about, the persona, the shadow, the self, and the anima and animus. These are all tied in because the persona is essentially masking our true selves, and it's doing that through creating personas, through creating a really just a mask for us so that we don't have to expose our who we truly are to the world. Because if we did, we would be hurt. There's a lot of unhealed people out there. There's a lot of people out there that wouldn't understand. And so by us opening that door, leaving that door open, it's going to accumulate a lot more energy that we don't want. So divine masculine men operate from that center plate, that center point, and have leverage and power in their own lives. So to be a great leader requires us to be connected to and operating from this center. Otherwise, we are going to ultimately get swept up under the really just anything. I mean, there's so many distractions, so many things in this world that take us off of our course, off of our path, that if we don't step up and own who we truly are, that's exactly what's going to happen. The divine masculine men is important for us to stay grounded within our center point and to remember who we are at the core. So, okay. So the core, we're going to touch on the physical aspect of strengthening the core and what that means. I like this quote by Joseph Campbell. The center is everywhere. The circumference is nowhere. It's a really powerful statement because I've talked a lot about how we need to get back to that center point, like in a circle. You want to be on the inside of the circle, not on the outside of the circumference. If you're not operating from that center point, then you're not going to have power in your lives. You're not going to have the ability to make changes, to make an impact in the world, essentially. We need to be able to strengthen who we are. And we do that by strengthening not only on a physical level, but on a mental, emotional, and spiritual level. So, because as above, so below, everything is essentially a projection of itself. So the universe trickles down, and no matter how small you get or how big you get, the patterns are going to repeat. And so with the core, it's called core because containing our core muscles that are needed to be able to withstand, to be able to hold us up, to be able to keep our trunk, our core strong. And as you can see, it contains, so these are all the core muscles, rect, rectus, abdominis, transverse abdominis, external obliques, internal obliques, and transverse abdomens. So all these things, even in the back, how it's connected to the core because the way that we move is needed, like our core strength is needed in order for us to move in certain ways, in order for us to have the strength to hold our bodies up, you know. Our spine is essentially the gateway to the heavens. So our core stabilizes it. Our core allows us to move, allows us to navigate, allows us to be flexible, to not crumble, essentially. Yeah, so it's got here that the core or the trunk is the axial central part of an organism's body. This is just really the center, like literally, if you look at the body and you measure it, it's going to be the center point of everything. So the stronger the core we have, the more leverage we have to utilize our bodies. The same is true on other levels, because if the more that we move back to that center point and we're working from that place, the more power we're going to have. The whole aspect of core is came up with an acronym that I really feel like resonates. Coded origins reawakened eternally. What does that mean? So it's been told in many different cultures and throughout the ages that we aren't these bodies. And there's a lot more to us than just the physical aspect. And so the core of who we are goes beyond this lifetime. It goes beyond this dimension, even. The mystics already knew this. That's why we have things like certain talents and dreams and insights and abilities, because these things come in often pre-programmed. We are connected to other lifetimes, to other versions of ourselves. And as such, these aspects of ourselves are going to come through oftentimes when we least expect it. I wanted to touch on this book. It didn't start with you because it has a really important concept that trauma that is experienced in a family is passed down till it gets resolved. Just like in your life, you're going to go through certain situations that's going to accrue karma. And if you don't get to a point where you actually resolve that karma and you see that karma through to the end, you end that cycle of karma, it's going to be passed down to your children, to your children's children, even. In this book, they talk about that. So it's like the karmic debt that has to be paid. They call it core language, which is essentially the fallout from trauma that has occurred in early childhood history, childhood or family history. And it talks about this in the book with has different perspectives, different stories. So basically, the one that the first one it talks about is there's a boy he's 19 years old. As soon as he turns 19, he starts experiencing weird changes to his body. He starts to notice that he's not able to go to sleep at night. And as he lays there trying to go to sleep, he feels this immense feeling of death. His body feels completely cold, like to the point where he's literally shivering. And comes to find out that this is connected to his uncle who had died at that same age, the age of 19, because well, he had died of hypothermia in a car. And so this trauma was being relived through other family members. And so when he turned 19, he was experiencing almost exactly what his uncle felt, even without being trapped in a super cold environment. But his body was still responding the same way because these are connected through our genetics, through our DNA. It it comes up in ways that that go beyond just us. There's so many different stories in there like that. There was a guy who committed a fraud, and I'm trying to think, it's been a minute since I've actually read it, but he basically ripped off people, and he got someone else thrown in jail. 2 generations later, this grandchild, he experiences the same exact thing, except for on the opposite end of the spectrum. So instead of being the one that is wronging somebody else and getting someone else thrown in jail, he got thrown in jail because of something that he didn't even do. As soon as he came to find out about his grandfather, he was able to release that anger because he was so angry. Like, how could these people do this to me? How could this happen to me? I'm innocent here. The problem is our DNA doesn't see it that way. Our DNA is expressing itself in ways that we don't even understand through things like this, through generational trauma that gets passed down. So the power of the center, as I talked about earlier, we want to create from our center point, not from the circumference of the circle. So we have a lot more surface area to work with. If you're working with the circumference, all you're working with is just a little thin line around the outside. If you're working from the center point, you have this whole surface area here to work with. In the ancients, this was a highly regarded symbol representing the sun. In Egyptian culture, this represented Ra, the sun god. So it's used by Pythagoras, later the Greeks, to represent the first metaphysical being, which is the monad. So this is something actually that my partner, she's been really drawn to, and she sees this a lot because it's the channel that comes through that through symbolism, we're able to perceive different aspects. We're able to receive downloads that will help us to better understand ourselves, to understand how to hack this matrix reality. And this shows up a lot. As I mentioned, this also represents the sun. So if you look this up, that's the first thing you'll see is that it represents the sun. We've got so many meanings throughout the various cultures and history. And then lastly, I wanted to touch on the Druids. Actually, there's multiple ancient cultures that believed in this concept of the center point, and they refer a lot to, or rather, in my studies, I've come to understand that the axis mundi is something that's a very profound part of the Jewish understanding, the Jew, Jewish traditions, because the axis mundi represents basically the tree the tree of life, the center where everything is created. And there's a powerful representation of that. I don't think I have the book here, but it's a book about modern Druidry, and it talks about the axis mundi. It talks about how if you want to imagine coming into existence, into consciousness, and so the axis mundi represents that center point. And hey, what's going on, Vlad?
Hey, Cody. Well, and yourself?
Doing pretty good, man. Yeah, I was
Yeah,
just
sorry, I'm a bit late.
oh no, you're good, man. No, you're good. Great to see you, brother.
Likewise. What are
Yeah,
you
so
talking about today?
so today I'm doing a presentation on returning to our core, the core of who we
Mm,
are. So I touched on just how it relates to divine masculinity, like the core of our actual physical bodies, and like strengthening that. So our core muscles, how they allow the rest of our body to function and operate. So if we don't strengthen our core, then we're not going to have a, you know, we're not going to essentially be able to utilize the fullness of our bodies.
mm,
And then a lot of what I talk about in the group, I talk about core, and I came up with the acronym. It's Coded Origins Reawakened Eternally. So essentially, it's like through it's so it's not just this lifetime for which we are connected to. It's like it extends beyond this lifetime. I
mm,
believe like I've had experiences where I've connected to like past lives, and I've had like downloads and like insights and essentially like memories come through. And the mystics talk about this a lot, like how we're not our bodies, we're the soul that animates it. And so the we come from, I mean, the soul has been through many journeys before it's gotten here. So like that's why we have certain talents and abilities. And and then I like this book is a really good, has some incredible information, and talks a lot about how things are passed down through our families. So it's like through our DNA,
mm,
trauma gets passed down. So if we don't heal the trauma at the core, at the root, then it gets passed down to us. And how there was examples of people that experienced that. And I'm talking about now I'm touching on the power of the center point and the Druids and how they talk a lot about the axis mundi, which is essentially like the tree of life, like like the it's essentially where everything begins, the center point of everything. And there's an analogy in a book that I read. I'm trying to think exactly how it goes. It's been a minute since I've read it, but it talked about like if we are that main core tree, as we start to branch out of that, we start to lose sight of the core of ourselves. We start to take on all these different perspectives, all these different insights as we move to the edge of the forest. And as we move to the edge of the forest, although we drift from that center point, we pick up a lot of new aspects, a lot of new perspectives that we didn't have before. And I found this talking about in Druid cosmology, the center of the world has three parts: the well, which is water, fire, and then the sacred tree, which I thought was a really powerful.
And also very interesting chronological order. Like uh, for me, it like represent like well like water, Noah's flood in a way,
Oh yeah.
fire, and like reawakened spirit. And talks about the Bible of how the world will burn, and then
Mm.
after that, eternal life will come, which is like the sacred tree. When it started with the uh, I think tree of life in the
Mm.
garden. Interesting.
Wow. That's powerful, man. Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Yeah, I
Yeah,
feel like a lot of the Christianity ties in a lot of these concepts too. Like a lot of the ancient cultures,
yeah,
and yeah, I mean, really, when we think about the, this current reality that we're living in, I mean, the four main elements, it's essentially the water, fire, and tree. The only one it doesn't have is air,
yeah. Well, the air is the breath of life, I guess.
right? It's
Maybe
like
it comes before the first
mm,
three.
yeah, I
The
could see that.
symbolism of life itself, I guess.
Yeah, I just recently found this, so I thought it was a yeah, I had to include it here. I was going to talk about the Axis Mundi, and I saw where the Druid cosmology has the three main parts, which is the well, fire, and the sacred tree. I really like how you described it with Christianity, like the water, like the well, the water. It's like representative of our blood, the fire of our spirit, the sacred tree, like the tree of life. Um, it's
It's like
it's
eternal.
yeah, because it's like as above, so below. These concepts don't extend to just this lifetime, I feel, and it is connected to all of us. We're all connected to these three main aspects, and even though the tree is at the center, it wouldn't be complete without the other aspects of it, which give it life. The fire, which is the spirit, is what allows us to the spirit to come through all things. It's like the animation of the body, and the well allows. I mean, it gives the tree life. It gives the tree nutrients so that it can survive. But also, it's the same with us. Without our blood, we wouldn't be able to survive, and it flows through us like water.
Mm, indeed.
But yeah, that was
You can
the
continue the presentation.
what's that?
You can continue the presentation.
Well, this is actually the last slide I had.
Um, I caught you right on time.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, I was about to.
Listen, Cody. Last time I said that we'll jump on a call, and I think we missed the last call. I'm not sure. Since then, uh, gathered a team, and we're going to launch like a paid community soon. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna um, help people with the communities to help them audit their communities. Like, what do I mean by that is that we're gonna look through the about page, like the offer, the like classroom or calendar. And uh, yeah, I just wanted to find out like what you're doing now. I'm loving it, and at the same time, it feels like this should be something that uh, you know people can pay for, but it also needs to get maybe like rebranded a bit to get people more drawn in. Uh,
Mm.
because I feel like you know I'm not sure how to like do this yet, uh, but I was thinking to get you on a call with Greg and Warren and talk about where you want to take your community, because I know that uh, you're paying like 99 per month for the
Right.
community, and I want to uh, help you and uh, invite you to be our beta client.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, like so that uh, we can help each other and figure out what kind of offer you can give, um, and see what can resonate with majority of the men. Because
Mm.
uh, if I think about it, what you're talking about, a lot of men don't know about it. You know, most of us are going through life blindly. You know, and the whole concept of uh, reigniting the fire within, like our spirit, so to speak, is like it's really has a huge potential.
Mm.
So I want to find a way how we can help you to uh, monetize your community in a way.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I'd love to, man. That sounds incredible.
Yeah, yeah. No, I'm happy you said that. Um, so like taking a step back, you know, um, what do you want your community to look
Hmm.
like in a month?
So I'm really trying to figure out a way to ignite that fire, you know. So that's why I like doing the 30-day challenges.
Mm,
So I'm working on figuring out how to get people more engaged and also just helping men to see that this is an area of our society and of our individual lives that we haven't really been able to connect to, you know, this divine masculinity, if you will,
mm.
because we've drifted away from that core of ourselves. So I would like it
This
to
is
be more, I don't know, man. Like I want to, I'm really gearing towards more of like a primal, um, but also a esoteric aspect. Like I want to talk about like deep esoteric things, but also just keeping it simple too. Being able to strip away all of the masks and the layers of persona that we've accumulated throughout our lives so that we can get back to that core and be true divine masculine men together and like hold each other accountable and be that example for each other.
mm, yeah, that is that is noble, first of all, and is needed. Uh, so so yeah, like I was struggling with my laptop. Let me just jump onto the internet again. Like what I see is that you already like making a lot of content. And are you following anybody who's doing something similar?
As far as like yeah, I follow a few people on Instagram. As far as in, I've tried to find groups in school. I found a couple that are kind of geared towards something similar. So I need to like
Mm,
start reaching out, create more collaboration.
mm.
We
Yeah, I
have,
think I think I can also help you with that, um, because I've learned ways of connecting with people and
mm,
finding a way to work together um, on the similar goal. And in a way, our goals are kind of also uh, overlapping each other. Um, and I believe that there's a lot of people that need this, a lot of guys that need this.
mm,
They need to at least find a way to visualize themselves in becoming a kind of reawakened on fire masculine man, you know. Uh,
yeah,
so there's ways to do it. I just we just need to figure out um, how to put it in a package.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. I'm in.
yeah, man. I'm definitely open for whatever suggestions. So I know there's still a lot of things that need work and still need to build out and develop. And it's like, I mean, it's been a huge learning process, but it's definitely grown just having the group itself. But I definitely
Yeah.
want to take it to the next level and really be able to reach more men and understand how to connect with them on a deeper level.
Mm. I'm going through your classroom and it's looking really cool. I like the visual.
Hmm. Thank you.
And how's your working schedule like? Where are you working?
I work for a call center right now, so it's like I normally work from so Monday through Thursday. It varies each day is slightly different, but
You working from home?
yeah,
Mm. So you also work on weekends, like when normally we have that Q&A call with Warren.
yeah, I work Saturdays from 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So it's like a bit of a shorter day, but usually I'm like I think it starts at 11:30 my time, so by
Mm.
the time I can get off, it's like an hour and a half into the call. If they're still on, that is.
Yeah, yeah. Because also, yeah, we can work something out. Uh, right now we're working on launching the community as well, and I'm also working on my community at the same time and looking for jobs as well. So yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I want you to like keep going and also start getting some clients that you can have like a deep one-on-one, you know. Uh, basically figure out, for example, what kind of archetype are they, and work through like with them through their masks, if I can put it like that,
Mm,
and find their like genuine identity,
mm,
like what they've been covering up and what they need to uncover, basically.
mm. Yeah, I love that. Let's write that down.
Well, you're
Yeah,
recording this.
yeah, yeah. I'll definitely write it in my notes after the recording's over. Yeah, man, that's I've been kind of because when I began the group, I didn't really have the understanding of the archetypes that I do now because I part of it was while I was doing the last 30-day challenge I did through that challenge, reading that book. It was about the archetypes, the king, the warrior, the magician, and the lover.
Mm-hmm.
And it really put it into a frame that it opened so many doors in my mind of like I began to connect the dots. It's like this is how I've embodied this archetype, and this is and this is shown in this area of my life, and then in this area of my life, I've embodied this archetype, and it's like having those frameworks to relate to is really powerful because it's like they're just concepts, they're just random, like to us, they're almost random, but like when we have something to attach it to, something to relate it to, it becomes a lot more digestible and understandable. And so for me, like the archetypes was a way to bridge that gap. And when I started the group, I wasn't even aware of it, at least on that level. Like I was aware of archetypes, but not, I didn't have the understanding. I didn't have the personal perspectives of how it related to my own life, how to tie that back in, let alone have help somebody else. So it was like definitely a powerful process. I feel like that would be really a really good thing to do is like help other men to figure out what archetype they're connected to or what, like where they're struggling at to see like the
Yeah.
different shadow elements that they might be embodying and how to
Mm-hmm.
move through it and activate that fire so that they're not stuck in these personas.
Mm. So how did it help you to be able to bridge the gap and uh, uh, digest it more like by relating to certain archetypes?
So there was a lot of things that I did um like throughout, we all do things throughout our lives that we wish that we could take back or wish we could change, but
Yeah, that's true.
I there was moments in my life where I couldn't even understand why I did the things that I did. Like I'm like, why? Like I consciously had an understanding, but I still did something different, and it's like as I began to understand the archetypes, I began to realize like this is why I was connecting to this. I was basically fitting into this mold, and it was like running me. It was like running the show in a way that I wasn't even consciously aware of.
Yeah.
Um, like like
So
the
were you able to break out of that uh, uh, being run by this,
mm,
I don't know what to call it, by your shadow self or something like that?
yeah. So I was able to take away. Really, it helped me to just explain it even to myself, because I didn't really have the words. I didn't really have it was just like, it was just something I had done, but I didn't understand that it was connected to an archetype and that through this archetypal experience, I can heal that. I mean, I guess for me, it's like when you think about symbols, there's certain things that are certain symbols out there that have, just I think I describe it. Like how symbols are more abstract, but it's like you don't necessarily know how they relate in your life or how you can use that symbol at times. It's like it's just a symbol until you experience something in life that you can connect that symbol back to. So for me, it was like a way to connect it to something outside of myself that's like a tangible, physical personification. And then from there, it like clicked. It's like, oh, that makes sense. And then I could start to like conceptualize it so that I could heal it and talk more about it so I can help out other men to like not go through those same do those same mistakes, you know.
Mm,
Hopefully that makes
it,
sense.
it does make sense. I'm just trying to, like, I think what you're trying to do is therapeutically, like, discover uh, men's identities, like, in which category do they fit, and
Mm.
how to, like, embrace them.
Right. Man, I'm on a call, buddy. She's in bed. I'm on a call. She's in bed though.
And also you add a physical, like, workout touch to your community as well, like in a way of challenging, like challenges, those 30-day challenges.
Right.
By the way, I started to do them, uh,
Nice.
but but the first couple of days were like super challenging to get to 50 push-ups. I'm getting closer though. So once I
Getting
get
there.
to that, I'm basically doing like a pre-challenge workout kind of thing.
Nice, brother.
Uh,
Awesome, man.
yeah, because I also believe that doing exercise uh, helps to helps us to make feel better, like and energizes us in a ways that we well that I let me just say I that I don't understand yet, but it makes me more proactive and gives me more energy by actually using my energy, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So
man.
yeah,
I gotta start somewhere. So that's awesome, brother. Keep it up.
yeah. So I've spoke with Nico L, a couple of times over the call, and he's really enjoying your community, and I believe that you're helping him as well. So
Mm.
there's, I think, a lot of guys like just after 20, because I believe in period from 20 until 30 is where you discover yourself,
Mm.
where you try to like kind of fit in the world, but uh, I believe what you're trying to do is help men avoid that, like don't fit in, like stand out, be uh, like okay, can't tell men to be who they are because not men are like have good intentions.
Right.
I'm sure, but uh, like become like a good man, you know,
Mm.
uh, like protective, uh, like actionable, proactive, uh, uh, like with a certain direction.
Right.
So maybe we can work with something like that,
Yeah. Yeah, I like that,
like
man.
like discover your divine inner fire or something like that. Um, so like I believe that everybody's going through pain and struggle sometimes cause pain, and unintentionally we ourselves causing that pain through what you described as like we put like masks or something like that, or uh, we struggle to embrace our full manhood, you know.
Mm.
So that is where we should focus with your community, and I believe that you already can help people. I believe that you've gone through enough, and before you get too far ahead, you know, uh, like we can look at the courses, like, because you've already have documents. And remember our last call where we've been able to add a couple of extra things and help to describe so that like even teenagers should be able to understand. Like
Mm,
take what you have already and then we can simplify that. And I believe that you already have enough uh, so that we can start working on your offer. Since I'm also busy working on my offer and helping others to work on theirs as well, uh, I believe that we can come up with something really good. And once you start being successful, like, uh, we'll be successful,
right.
right?
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
so yeah, I hope that you can join the call tomorrow. And then I believe that you should speak with Greg. I think Greg will also be able to help you. He's in Canada,
Okay.
so he's in the same time zone as you. Um, and he has some wild stories, brother. Like he's 57. He's been in business for 37 years.
Mm,
Actually, more than that. Uh, he's made millions, you know, uh, and at the same time, he lost everything over and over. So,
gosh.
uh, and now he's like, he still hasn't thrown in the towel, and he is being persistent. And both of us, yeah, you and me included, are still here because we're persistent and we're fighting for what we want. And at the same time, I believe that we can help each other. There, like, I don't believe in like competition, even though the world has like, uh, twisted the whole thing that men need to compete against men and become the alpha. That's like, animal kingdom BF.
Right.
So we're not animals, we can find a way to cooperate and work together and help each other out.
Mm,
So that's what I want to do. And I also want to help men to be able to uh, take deliberate action and prioritize on the things that uh, will bring results faster. And this is why I'm sharing this with you. Like, I like your material. Yes, it can be better, but for the time being, it is good enough. Like, you don't need to perfect it because you've already made so much progress with it. You've already been able to help yourself. So if you can help yourself, I believe you can help other people as well.
definitely.
I believe that you can relate with a lot of men, because the way you are talking, you are able to relate with me as well, you know.
Right.
And like I like how you use yourself as an example, because in that way, it prompts me, and I think it will prompt your audience and the guys that you'll be able to help to all be like, yeah, man, I've also been in that situation. Like, what's up with that? You
Mm,
know? Then, um, uh, so yeah, this is gonna be just the first step, and then, like helping to drive traffic to the community. Uh, I haven't done a lot of that yet, uh, but I've made a lot of progress. So I've met like a lot of cool people, yourself included. And yeah, man, can't wait to like kind of reshape your community.
yeah, man, that's I love everything that you said. I feel like any way that we can help each other. I mean, that's what we're here for, you know. Can't really
Yeah,
can't do this alone. So we need to work together. We need to like find that tribe of people that we can work. Oh, you still there? Okay.
yeah,
Okay, it's cutting out a little bit.
uh, yeah, it's bugging out a bit. But yeah, I agree. I think we're on the same page. And yeah, do you have like an Instagram account or something that you're posting some kinds of these things, or um,
Yeah.
kind of like taking the content of the people that you're following and who's doing these things and kind of repurposing, like, making it your own in a way?
Yeah, I have an Instagram. I honestly haven't really utilized it much. I haven't been on there, and I made a post probably a month ago. Um,
Okay,
uh,
no worries. Because I,
but
I think there's a lot of people also on school that like mm, we can find a way to drive traffic through there. And
yeah,
yeah, uh, and like I believe with team effort, we'll be able to start getting results for everybody.
yeah,
Yeah.
awesome, brother. Yeah, and as far as what you're saying about Greg, yeah, I heard a little bit of a story last time I wasn't able to make the call this past Saturday, but the one before that, I believe, was the one he was talking about
Mhm.
where he had lost he had I forget which business he said he had, but I'm trying to think. But I know he said he had lost it all, and I heard like a little bit because I came in
Mhm.
part way through, but but yeah, it sounds like he's been through a ton of stuff, and
Yeah,
definitely open to learning and growing with you guys.
yeah, man. Same here, same here. Uh, so yeah, just take some time and think about uh like the top three things that you want people to get out of your community. Maybe top five. It will be like, better to eliminate some or like prioritize them from the first to second and third and so on. Because also, um, so basically you have some time after you finish with your day job to work on the school. It's like your side project at the moment.
Right. Yeah.
Do you want it to like replace your income so that you can do this like full time?
Yeah. Absolutely.
All
Yeah.
right, then we need to like really find a way to uh, create like a killer offer for you. Um, so yeah, as we're busy like getting a structure together and um, learning from like different kinds of communities, how everything's working, like all over the place, kind like right now all over the map. But with that, we're also have been able to connect like a lot of dots. So yeah, I believe that uh, we can help a lot of people and also get you going as well. And yeah,
Love it.
it's an open road, man.
Yeah.
Just need to start moving.
Yeah. True. Gotta take those first few steps. It's always the hardest.
Yeah,
We've already taken steps, but taking the steps together and continuing to climb that mountain.
yeah, or just going through it.
Yeah.
Uh,
Best way to learn.
yeah, because you already got like so much stuff already going on. You have a lot of like uh, material to have like workshops,
Mm.
like like live calls. At the same time, what you've been recording, you can like put it into like classrooms. Um, maybe you like can structure the classrooms according to each archetype.
Mm.
First, like have the first one to define which one are you, and then direct them to, you know, start going like, step by step. And learning a little bit more with each day, maybe.
Mm.
Um, because I'm the way I'm structuring my classroom, for example. Um, just can I switch my camera? Uh,
You're trying to do a screen share.
I'm on my phone and I only got my laptop to work now.
Oh,
Let me try things here. Whoa, Google Drive, box, photo, image, no, web URL. Is it maybe that one? Have never screen shared on my phone before. Now I need to put in the URL. Okay, hang on there, buddy.
yeah, you're good.
I should be able to go in the right one. And yeah, um, let's see if it works. Is it working? Oh no, it's asking to join, but
Yeah, I can see it.
I'm already part of my group, yo.
Oh,
Uh, should I forget? Um, oh, is it? Um, man, uh, it's not. All right. Can you see my screen?
yeah.
All right. Uh, like I go in here, then I have a welcoming page. There's not much here, but I go back to menu. Go back to menu. Yeah. I made it like, week one and week two. Like, day one, like, setting goals because I'm keeping in mind that people who are working, and they have like a side project going on or something like that, they only have maybe uh, 2 to 4 hours a day to work on their side project, for example.
Mm.
So, like, I have in the first day, like, start with clarity and, like, how to create clear goals. Like, for example, with um, your main goal is to create a community uh, that's helping men or that's helping lost men to become men, kind of.
Mm.
And then like we can write it down. Writing down always helps because not only are you making like your thoughts real on paper, you can see them, and when you say them out loud, they're even more real.
Mm.
So basically like making it tangible, uh, like discover how writing goals reinforces accountability because you need to keep yourself accountable as well. And that's why it's important to also have partners who can keep you accountable to those things as well, to your
Right.
goals. And uh, like setting deadlines, and also like with setting goals, if it's like really big, then you need to break it down. Like basically like within 6 months, you want to be able to replace your income,
Mm.
right? Make already more than what you're making with your like current job, for example.
Mm.
And then we break them down into like months, and then we take the first month and break it down into like 4 weeks and like make a roadmap and basically the things that need to be taken care of. And then we like set deadlines for like, each of those steps. So yeah, then I like all the posts that I made, I'm just repurposing them for the classroom because like that is how I started and that's how it's helping me. And then we just time block the deep work for, let's say, our communities, for your community, my community, and then we can also have um, collaboration time where we work on them together. Right now, it will be very challenging because we're in two different time zones.
Hmm.
So if you're able to work a little bit in the morning, we can do that, together or something like that.
Okay.
And then, uh, yeah, then we start with building momentum. So starting, like you've already started, I've already started, so we've already built some momentum, and you're staying consistent, and uh, we just need to use that momentum to our advantage, and also like explore how small daily wins can lead to like significant progress over a couple of weeks and a month, basically. And then together we can like learn techniques to overcome procrastination and perfectionism. That's why I'm telling you that, uh, like for somebody like me who doesn't know like the archetypes, okay, I think I've showed enough. Like, it does make sense. Hello.
You said, yeah, yeah. What were you asking? Does it make sense?
Yeah, like what I'm saying so far.
Yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah, so I'm gonna continue now. I'm trying to figure out how to stop sharing, and I already have an app. I gotta stop sharing. So like that's what I said. For somebody like me, who doesn't know like archetypes or, you know, basically like a frame structure of my inner self in a way, um, like you've already been able to help me, like think about those things, and I'm relating to those things on uh, based on my belief system. So I can see that uh, there is truth and reality to it, and just taking what you have and instead of trying to get it perfect, you just go with the progress because you've already learned so much, you know. Uh, so before you get too far ahead, it will be really cool to take what you have and um, like simplify it. Like for example, when um, when the first time I joined in, I felt like I was part of like a top university lecture. I'm like felt like rocket science or something. Then with some time, like I'm starting to get the hang of it. But in order for people not to feel out of place when they first join, it will be really cool to um, like start with relatable and make it simple. Like that is also what the offers are about, making it like so simple and so attractive that even a 10-year-old like understands what we're offering.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's
So just,
my 2 cents.
yeah, man. I really appreciate that feedback. Just having like you said, having a way to relate it to people and make it more digestible, make it in a way that they can um, just jump in and just start to. Because if they jump in and they don't understand what I'm talking about, or they don't have any, it's like there's a big gap there. They're not able to like really get it. They don't, it doesn't really connect. then they're gonna leave. And so if like I
Yeah.
connect it, help them to see how it connects in their life and like explain things in a simple way, then it'll help it'll help everybody really.
Yeah, exactly. And like, um, maybe you'll get some teenagers as well. Like,
Mm,
think from that perspective. If a like teenager who like found your about page attractive, of let's say you've already started posting on Instagram, and he found your school and he's like, yeah, I wanna like, become that uh divine masculine like man, you know, and when they jump on like a discovery call with you or something, and you say like, um, uh, introduce yourself, and you ask them some questions about them, and then you jump into discovering their archetype, you know, like a discovery call.
mm,
uh, they need to be able to understand the context, and there should be like some examples, or you should be able to also, if they give you an answer, you should be able to take that answer and be able to say like, okay, it sounds like this and this, and make sense to them.
Interesting. Yeah, that's a really good point. Saying it like that, I feel like I can make a chart to where it's like the different things that we do because I was thinking about it like in my own life, how when I was reading through the book, I was able to relate different aspects. But I feel like if I have a chart laid out, I can kind of be like, look, this is how it relates, and um, because the four main archetypes, so pretty much all of the issues that we experience fall into those. Like something that we do, like a pattern, an unwanted pattern, falls into one of these archetypes, generally speaking.
Hmm.
So, so
Yeah, and it's like, if you uh, can uh, like start closing in on uh, like what you can pull your, you know, um, the guy that you're helping, like with that like example or something like that. Because let's be honest, like, all teenagers masturbate, so you cannot put them into like a single category, where I think compulsive masturbator, you need to be able to go deeper.
mm, right,
Yeah, because I feel like, if that like the masturbation part comes up, it will trigger something, but it's also uh like I feel like all teenagers have done this and doing this or something like that.
right.
And yeah, by the way, I've been able to like quit that as well after some
Yes.
time. So
Congratulations,
yeah,
brother.
yeah. So I think it's also a big step before jumping into relationship. You need to eliminate that uh, unhealthy habit as well. So there's a lot of things that can be explored, and once you start getting onto the calls with people, you'll be able to also determine how to help them. But for the start, you just need to have a basic structure and framework. And then when the people start to come to the calls or asking you questions, you can be able to give them like a free resource that they can also work through themselves and have an idea. And when you jump on a call with them, um, they can tell you what they're thinking about what you gave them. And if after asking like, specific questions, you'll be like, yeah, I think like you are in this archetype structure. So uh, you can talk a bit more about it. And for the next call, you can like, that's gonna be the strategy call.
Mm,
And then you can be able to explain them the basics of the like uh, warrior archetype. Let's say as an example, they are warrior archetype, and then you like can be able like, I can help you with this, and it's gonna be like, 99 per month. Like, it's like nothing to just like go through with this thing, and then they can maybe purchase a course, you know, or by that time when you have like some free resources and tools to use, you'll be able to have a membership paid community,
Mm.
or even maybe change your, because I think once they come to a 7-day free trial, if they're really serious about it, they'll be able to jump on the calls with you and do the 2-step discovery and strategy call.
Mm. Yeah. Yeah, I love that, man. I hadn't really thought about it like that, but yeah, it's a really good strategy. I love it.
Drop the mic.
Yeah. I'm like, man,
Yeah, but
I
also
gotta
I
write all
think
this down.
but also I think teenagers won't be able to like maybe afford something like that. So there's gonna be like those kind of challenges to like think about. But
Right.
just like, going step by step with everything without getting overwhelmed, just think about uh, how you want it to go. Like, put yourself in your fifth, like 20, like, you know, put yourself in your 15-year-old shoes and just like think if it will make sense, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I now that you mentioned that, I had a mom reach out to me. This was a couple weeks
Uh-huh.
ago, and she was asking about she was trying to find like a something for her son to join that
Mm,
was like basically around kind of what I teach. Like I explained a little bit what I talk about, what I do, and she's like, "Yeah, I'm looking for my son to get into something like that." And yeah, it just got me thinking, like talking about relating to teenagers. I
mm,
feel like it would be like I got to be able to explain it. If I can explain it to teenagers, then really anybody can understand it because it's like,
exactly.
just
And you can be
simplifying it.
able to, to also explain it um, to the moms and dads and things like that.
Right.
Yeah. And then later we can work on a high ticket where you work with somebody like one-on-one every few days, something like that.
Yeah, man. I love it.
Because maybe, yeah. So yeah, man. Like I feel like you're on to fire here. So just need to start holding it. Like we're kind of dancing around it now. We just need to start holding it.
So true, brother. Yeah, man. Wow. Yeah. I really appreciate everything you've done and just being part of the community. And I've learned so much just from our calls that we've had. So I'm definitely excited to jump more and see how we can help each other. And I'm loving your community, by the way, brother. It's
Thank you, brother. Awesome. Yeah, I just want to focus on helping other people because I know, uh, like, when you help enough people, then everything starts coming to you without, like, kind of chasing it.
right.
So, yeah, I just want to help you and help the guys in my community and who I've met so far, and uh, like figure out the road map, and then. Um, yeah, like, once we get you more results, uh, like it would be really cool to get testimonial,
Yeah,
and
sure.
so that we can also keep on growing together, you know, because
Right.
I can see you're really passionate about this. Like I can see that it has helped you a lot, and you like want to make it bigger. And with time, I think you'll be able to write maybe like a book or make an ebook.
Mm.
Um, yeah, there's like the road is really long. And it's just we need to start walking.
Right. Yeah. I'm
But
excited,
yeah,
man.
Yes, same here. But I need to go. I need to jump on another call, which I'm late for that one as well.
Oh no.
I really need to get a handle on my time.
Yeah. It's all good. I know. I
But
understand.
uh, but thank you so much, brother. And regards to your family, tell everybody hello. And I hope your sons are doing really good as well.
All right, man. Well, I really appreciate you, brother, and hope you have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, and you as well.
Thank you. Much love.
Sweet. Well, I think you'll need to close. I don't know where to close here.
Yeah, I'll just end the meeting. But yeah, man, have a great rest of your day. Appreciate you, brother. Peace.
You as well.